Hi, this is Dr. Weideman, your instructor for this class, and I'd like to give you a little introduction to the class. We'll take a look at the Angel course and also at the Mymathlab course. So the handout that I have up on the screen right now is available in the, let me pull the course up for a minute, in the course materials page under Introductory Materials for the course, and you can see this video, which we're watching right now, and then the handout that I have up on the screen. And let's work on the Angel course first. Let's go back. When you first come into the Angel course, you'll always start on what I call the home page, which allows you to see your messages here. You have a link to the course syllabus. This is the same link that's available from the syllabus tab. And then there's some institutional resources over here that you might find helpful. Online library, Smart Thinking, which is an online tutoring system, and so forth. So you might find those things helpful. The calendar for the class will list the due dates. Class begins on the 19th. We've got a weekly chat sessions are going to be on Tuesday night from 6:30 to 7:30, and your first set of due dates in the course will occur on June 2nd, and this is actually the assignments from week 1 and 2. They all become available on that day because I extend the due dates for the first week until the Monday of the second week. All right, so in the course materials page, let's stay in the Angel course. Like I said, here's that introductory materials folder, and the required syllabus course is in this folder here. And you want to take a look at this folder to get you familiar with the course. Got a little humor here at the top. Again, this is the handout that I just had up. This is the video that you're watching. Here's a list of things to do to get you started. This is tutorials on how to use Angel. Again, a link to our course syllabus, the course calendar. I suggest you print out this weekly calendar. It shows the due dates. It's also available at the end of this handout that we're looking at, going over right now. The textbook information, Mymathlab materials. Here's some registration instructions. Here's a registration guide, and then a tip sheet. You want to get yourself registered for Mymathlab as soon as you can. I'm sorry, MyStatLab. You want to do that as soon as possible. And remember also, if you don't have the money to buy the access kit, you can get a 14-day trial access, so you want to do that as soon as possible. Proctor testing information. Please read this 5 myths about distance learning, and then the required syllabus quiz. And again, the Mymathlab, you cannot pass this course if you don't purchase the Mymathlab access kit and get registered in Mymathlab. And let me just go back to the course materials page for a second. The View My Grades here, I would suggest using this rather than this link here, because this will give you an up-to-date picture of your grades. Here's a link to my instructor page. Analysis of quiz answers. Each week after quiz due dates pass, I'll post an analysis of questions that were missed by some students, and that might help you. Here's the weekly chat session, and the link for the first chat is shown right here, which again is on May 20th, and you just click on that and it will take you to the website that I use. Remember, if you're using Firefox, you might get some blocks. You'll see, I hope you can see this, in the upper left corner there's a little lock and key there, and if it's locked you have to click on that to unlock it. The other thing you can try is just right clicking and saying open in a new window. That usually works also. The course is organized into units, and each unit contains 3 to 4 chapters. And so, for instance, and notice this message here, if you don't see any materials in this folder, like the chapter folders, then you haven't completed the syllabus quiz with a score of 100%. So you want to go back to that introductory materials folder and complete the syllabus quiz with a score of 100%. And then each chapter, let me actually go to Unit 2 because I wanted to show you when we start getting into using some software. Let's take a look at Chapter 3, for instance. Each of these will be formatted the same way. There's a little introductory picture from the textbook, the learning outcomes for the course that we're going to do in here, what you'll be able to do at the end, and then it summarizes. Here's the handouts in practice. You might want to take a look at these. There's a chapter handout for each chapter. There's a PowerPoint handout, and then in the chapters where we use the StatCrunch program, which is in MyStatLab, there'll be a video here showing you how to do that. And then here's your quiz. Remember, quizzes are in Angel, and the homework is in Mymathlab. There's no discussion topic for that chapter, but let me pull up one that does have a discussion topic. So you can just see where those are. There's a discussion in this chapter here. You have a class introduction, so you're going to need to post an introduction about yourself in this discussion topic, and these are part of your grades. Okay, so let's go over to the Mymathlab course. When you get logged into Mymathlab, you'll come up with a page like this that shows the calendar. It shows upcoming assignments that are due. It'll give you an overall idea of your score, your course timeline, how much you've done, how much is remaining to do. And on the navigation bar on the left side, the chapter contents will show you the chapter ebook. Let's pull up a section of it, like section chapter 3, section 3.1. And the multimedia ebook is right here, which is exactly the same as the printed textbook. The nice thing about it is there are embedded activities that you might find helpful, and I've summarized these in the chapter handouts in Angel. It takes a minute to load it. Okay, and so here it is, and you can see the table of contents over here, so if you wanted to go somewhere else. So here's an embedded activity right here. It's called an Active Stats, and it's a little teaching applet. So if you're having some trouble with concepts, you might want to take a look at these. They're nice learning tools. And then back over here, if I close up chapter contents and I go to the homework link, the homework will show up for the course. And the due dates are shown over here. When there's a little flag here, it's telling you there's a prerequisite. So for instance, to access this homework here, you have to get 100% on this required intro to MyStatLab. There are no tests in here. Remember, your quizzes rather are in Angel. On StatCrunch, we're going to use this software package starting with Chapter 2. It's built right into the Mymathlab, MyStatLab website. And when we get to chapters where we're going to use it, there'll be data sets built in here. And there are also data sets built into the ebook like we were looking at before. So if I go, for instance, to the end of Chapter 2, to the exercises, some of the exercises at the end of the chapter, and I will direct you to these in the homework if we're going to use, or I'm sorry, in the quizzes if we're going to use them. Let's see if I can find one here that has a link to StatCrunch. You'll see a little icon next to the problem, and it'll take you right to StatCrunch. And of course, I can't find one right now, but they'll be listed to the side like this. That's a little activity. Oh, here's one. Here's a StatCrunch link here. So if you click on this, it will open up the data in StatCrunch, and you can go ahead and answer the questions. So that's a nice quick link for you to work problems. And hopefully it'll open up. Okay, we're going to go ahead and skip that for right now. Okay, let me go back to the handout. So we went over the Angel course. We talked about the things here on the course materials page. We talked about the MyStatLab course. And the proctored midterm and final, there is a proctored midterm and final that are given at our 4 main campuses. There's a link in the syllabus. If you live out of the area, you'll need to get a proctor approved in your area. You want to keep up with the weekly assignments. And at the end of this handout, I've printed the weekly schedule for you, and I would suggest hanging this on the wall by your computer and checking off as you complete activities. Let's see, you have 2 attempts for each chapter quiz. Those are in Angel. In the homework in MyStatLab, you have unlimited attempts. You can go back and redo anything after you've completed it, as long as you worked on it at least once before the due date. Everything will be due on Monday at 11, and it'll be due the week after we finish the material, and 11 o'clock on Monday nights. And again, this schedule here is really important, so please print it out and keep track of it. We will keep to the schedule. I don't extend the due date, so please keep this in mind and keep the schedule close by. I look forward to working with you this summer.